Shit, get down, get down.
No!
Busy couple of days, huh?
Whatever, man. Damn, no food, old pair of shoes. We got nothing. Let's go.
Oh, man.
There ain't nothing we could have done.
I know. It's just... Oh, man.
From the very opening of Naughty Dog's The Last of Us, it's immediately apparent this is unlike any game they've done before it. The entire world and overall scenario is so absolute, so terrifyingly real and uncompromising in its violence, that everything from the characters, their actions, and the universe they're forced into will make you question your own humanity and what kind of person you would become if the world around you suddenly came to an end. 20 years into a virus spread by spores known as cordyceps, the world is a staggeringly different place. Buildings and structures have been reclaimed by the landscape and have become overgrown with plant life and are left in a constant state of overwhelming decay. It's this look at the familiar reclaimed by nature that lends to most of the game's unsettling backdrops. Nature has fought back against mankind's overpopulation and ever-expanding grids of suburbs and cities, and we are losing the fight, if we haven't already. The cordyceps that infect mankind have another unnatural effect on the human body. Instead of simply killing its host, the fungus takes over, turning the body into an almost zombie-like state of being whose only purpose is to spread the disease or kill the uninfected. The ones that remain infected long enough become enemies known as clickers. These creatures are blind due to an overgrowth of cordyceps taking away their sight and are forced to hunt for their prey using a clicking noise similar to sonar. The sound is deeply unsettling, and the encounters with these infected account for some of the game's most intense and terrifying moments. In the 20 years since the infection began, the few remaining cities are left under strict martial law, and the game does an incredible job of reminding you that the world is a savagely unsafe place, and at any moment that where you once called home could be taken away from you all over again. The player assumes the role of Joel, an aging smuggler in this destroyed world, and is tasked with escorting Ellie, a 14-year-old girl, across the ravaged United States. The dynamical differences between Joel and Ellie, one who lived through and remembers the way life used to be and is struggling to do nothing but survive and outlast the loss and devastation of his actions, and the young girl who was born into this world and knows nothing else outside of this reality, creates some of the game's best moments and helps make the characters feel more like real people than I've ever experienced in a game before.
That girl is so skinny. I thought you had plenty of food in your time.
Oh, we did. Some just chose not to eat it.
Why the hell not?
For looks.
That's stupid.
The roles of Joel and Ellie are played brilliantly by the very talented Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson. The amount of emotion that is able to be conveyed between the characters during gameplay is astounding and prove that Naughty Dog are still masters of storytelling in the video game medium. The resounding script, penned by Neil Druckmann, is so incredibly paced and told that I can't imagine it existing in any medium outside of gaming and still having the same impact on the audience. Even the secondary characters that Joel and Ellie encounter in their journey feel just as fleshed out and are all as brilliantly voiced and acted as the main characters themselves.
Don't test me! Just
Take it easy.
any bites?
Oh,
Anything sprouting?
oh, God damn it, I'm clean!
If I see so much as a twitch. Ow! Stop! Son of a bitch!
Instead of feeling more like subplots to simply move the story along, The characters you encounter feel real and individual, and their actions have consequences on the storyline, just as Joel and Ellie's do. The characters' reliance on one another for survival is an ever-evolving piece of the story and eventually even factors into the gameplay itself. One instance that I initially attributed to a happy accident of gameplay in which Joel was shielding Ellie during a combat sequence was actually a predetermined event in the character's actions and is one of the moments I often refer back to when describing what makes this game stand out for me. Despite a somewhat severe lack of ammunition and resources in the game that add to a level of desperation, you never feel underpowered or at unfair odds with the AI. It's in this gameplay choice that Naughty Dog rewards the player for thinking strategically about every encounter, no matter the size of your opposition. With various options available to you to create your arsenal, from creating a makeshift bomb for dealing with enemy groups, or simply taping a blade to a pipe for a quick takedown, the game never feels unfair, and all the necessities for your survival are readily within reach. I've never felt such an overwhelming sense of dread about what could be around the next corner as I did with this game. The tension as an enemy draws closer and your ammo stock is depleted is palpable, and each encounter left me physically breathless when it was over. The game lends itself for the player to approach each encounter more stealthily and take each enemy down individually as opposed to open combat, but thanks to clever AI, the game can quickly turn the hunter into the hunted, and each encounter becomes a frantic fight just for survival. The level of violence that not only enemies but also Joel inflicts in the world of The Last of Us is unflinchingly brutal. Environmental takedowns become a necessity, and after every enemy encounter, you find yourself wondering if there was another path you overlooked that might have let you sneak by unscathed. This is literally one of the most intense games I've ever played, and I actually found myself having to walk away from the game more than once just to clear my head.
I feel sick.
The game is undeniably gorgeous and the best example of what the aging hardware was always capable of in the right developer's hands. The sound design and musical score is used sparingly to absolutely haunting results. Enemies will taunt you and call to each other from across the map, and hearing the clicks and wails of the infected put the player in an immediate sense of unease. While the musical score is rarely omnipresent, the few moments of serenity experienced within the game, the musical score resonates with a soft tone that never lets you forget the near-complete isolation of the game world.
Oh, man. Wow.
Joel and Ellie's story is all at once one of the most terrifying, thought-provoking, and heartbreaking experiences I've ever had in any entertainment medium ever. The sheer level of detail from the characters and their gradual growth throughout the story, all captured perfectly by their human counterparts, to the fully realized and often inescapably horrifying world, punctuated by an unending sense of dread and an unsettling look at the limits of what defines a person's humanity at the sake of survival, and the fear of loss creates something that has never been experienced before in an interactive medium, movies, or games. The Last of Us is not only one of the greatest games of the year and possibly all time, but manages to reignite the discussion of games as an art form, and is also the perfect swan song not only for the PlayStation 3, but for this generation of consoles overall. There has never been and may never be anything like this game again. What the next generation of consoles holds for gamers might be unclear, but this is one of the games that will define their future. Naughty Dog's The Last of Us, with its unforgettable characters, story, and uncompromising vision and direction, more than earns our highest honor of 5 out of 5.
So, is this everything you were hoping for?
It's got its ups and downs, but you can't deny the view, though.
So, there you have it. The Last of Us is nothing short of a masterpiece of storytelling and game design. But I want to know what you guys think. So leave any comments, questions, and your own thoughts and experiences about the game in the section below, and be sure to click that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.